She thought she was about to celebrate 10 years of marriage with champagne and roses. But when she stepped into her own home to grab a key, the voices she overheard behind a half-open bedroom door shattered her entire world. A husband plotting against his wife, a best friend hiding the darkest betrayal, and a mother about to lose everything, her children, her home, even her freedom, unless she finds a way to fight back. This isn't just a story about love gone wrong. It's about deception, survival, and the shocking truth that no one saw coming. Stay with us until the very end. You won't believe how this ends. And if you love stories that keep you on the edge of your seat, don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend, leave us a comment, and subscribe for more gripping dramas. Just like this one, I'm standing in my driveway at 4:15 on a Wednesday afternoon, champagne bottle in one hand, bouquet of roses in the other, and absolutely no way to get into my own house. My name is Sarah Mitchell. I'm 38 years old, a pharmaceutical sales director, and apparently someone who forgets the most basic things when she's excited. This morning, in my rush to catch a 5 a.m. flight to Boston, I'd grabbed my laptop bag and car keys but left my house keys sitting in my purse on the bedroom dresser. I'd used the spare key hidden under the planner to lock up. Now, standing here after cutting my conference short by a day to surprise my husband Jake for our 10th wedding anniversary tomorrow, I'm locked out of my own surprise. I laugh at myself, fishing the spare key from under the ceramic pot of dying petunias. Jake always jokes that I'd forget my own head if it wasn't attached. He's probably right. The house is quiet when I slip inside through the side entrance. Jake's truck is in the garage, so he's home. Perfect. I can already picture his face when I walk into whatever room he's in with champagne and flowers. A full day early. I set everything down quietly on the kitchen counter, wanting to grab my actual keys from the bedroom before the big reveal. It's silly, but I hate using that spare key. It sticks in the lock. As I move through our living room toward the bedroom hallway, I hear voices. The bedroom door is slightly ajar, maybe 6 inches. Jake's voice carries clearly, and someone else is with him. A woman. My first thought, innocently, is that maybe my sister stopped by, or our neighbor Karen. Then I hear what they're actually saying, and my entire world tilts sideways. Jake's voice, casual and confident, cuts through the quiet house. The lawyer says we're golden. Once the default judgment goes through next week, she loses everything. House, kids, she'll owe me support. I freeze. My hand is on the hallway wall, steadying myself. Default judgment, lawyer. The woman's voice responds, and my blood turns to ice because I know that voice. I've known it for 20 years. I still can't believe she's never opened those papers. Who doesn't check their certified mail? Melissa, my best friend since college, godmother to my children. The woman laughing in my bedroom right now. Jake laughs, and it's a sound I've never heard from him before. Cold, calculated. Because I made sure she didn't. Her assistant thinks I'm the loving husband organizing a surprise anniversary party. Every legal document delivered, signature required, went straight to me. I've been signing her name for 3 months. My legs won't move. I should run, scream, do something. Instead, I stand there like a statue listening to my life disintegrate. You're terrible, Melissa says, but her tone is playful, flirtatious. What about the kids? They're props, Mel. The judge eats up my devoted dad act. I've been documenting her absences for 8 months. Every PTA meeting, every school play. I made sure everyone saw her empty chair. Boom, Melissa's voice again, and now I hear the satisfaction in it, the triumph. God, I've wanted this for so long. Since college, watching her get everything. The perfect grades, the promotions, Marcus fawning over her at work. The ideal family. Finally, I get what should have been mine. My hand moves to my mouth. I'm going to be sick. Jake continues. Once that gambling debt gets cleared with her 401k and the house equity, baby, we're set. The bookies will back off and it's just you, me, and the kids. Gambling debt? What gambling debt? From downstairs, I hear my daughter Emma's small voice. Daddy, when is Mommy coming home? Jake yells back, loud enough that I flinch. She's not, sweetheart. Mommy loves work more than us. But don't worry, Melissa's going to be your new mommy. Something breaks inside my chest. Not my heart. Something deeper. Something that can't be put back together. My hands shake as I pull out my phone. I switch it to voice recording and press start. Then I take one breath, two breaths, trying to steady myself. I'm frozen in place, 30 seconds from walking into that bedroom, 30 seconds from detonating my entire existence. But I can't stay frozen forever. I have to move. I have to face this. I push the door open and walk into my bedroom, where my husband and my best friend are destroying my life, and I'm holding the evidence that might save it. The bedroom smells like Melissa's perfume, the same perfume I helped her pick out last Christmas. Jake and Melissa are fully clothed, sitting on my bed like they're discussing weekend plans, not conspiracy and fraud. Somehow that makes it worse. I love work more than you? My voice comes out steadier than I feel. Say that again, Jake, for the recording. Jake's head snaps toward me. For 1 second, maybe two, I see genuine surprise. Then his face rearranges itself into something ugly. He lunges off the bed toward me. Give me that phone right now. I step back into the hallway. Already uploaded to cloud storage. Touch me and add assault to your fraud charges. Melissa scrambles up, pulling the bedsheet around herself even though she's wearing jeans and a sweater. The dramatic gesture would be funny if my life wasn't ending. Sarah, this isn't what you think. You don't understand the whole situation. I understand you've been sleeping with my husband while babysitting my children. My voice is shaking now. I understand you just confessed to fraud, coercion, and parental alienation. That's 10 years in prison, Mel. Hope he was worth it. But Jake doesn't look worried. He looks almost amused. He walks calmly to our dresser and pulls out a manila folder, tosses it at my feet. Recording without two-party consent? Illegal in this state. That audio is inadmissible in court. Meanwhile, my lawyer already has affidavits from 15 witnesses about your absences. Teachers, coaches, neighbors. You're done, Sarah. I pick up the folder with numb fingers. Open it. The first photo shows me and Marcus, my boss, at a restaurant in Chicago. The photo is taken from outside, through the window, making it look intimate, romantic. The timestamp says 11:30 p.m. I remember that dinner. Marcus and I had been strategizing for a presentation to a hospital network. We'd worked until the hotel restaurant was closing. The second photo shows us in a hotel lobby at what looks like midnight. We're both in business, casual, standing close, talking. In the photo, it looks like we're about to kiss. In reality, we'd been exhausted, comparing notes before heading to our separate rooms on separate floors. There are dozens more. Business dinners reframed as dates, conference hotels made to look like affairs, text messages about meetings made to sound flirtatious. The final document is a witness statement from Marcus's ex-wife, claiming he has a pattern of affairs with subordinates. These are work trips. My hands are shaking so hard the papers rattle. You know these are work trips. Jake's smile is cruel. What I know it is what a judge will see. A wife who chose her career and her boss over her family. The recordings I have of you missing Emma's birthday party, Tyler's school concert, that's real evidence, sweetheart. Melissa adjusts her expression to something like sympathy. Sarah, maybe this is a wake-up call. You've been stretched too thin. I turn on her. Don't you dare pretend you care. You're my kid's godmother. I trusted you with everything. Her mask slips. For just a moment, I see the real Melissa underneath. The smirk, the satisfaction. And that was your first mistake. I need to leave. Need to get out of this room before I do something I can't take back. I back toward the door, clutching my phone like a lifeline. Stay away from my children, I say, both of you. Jake laughs. Your children? Sarah, read the papers you've been ignoring for 3 months. They're my children now. You gave them up when you chose your career. The court just made it official. I run down the hallway, through the living room, out the front door to my car. My hands shake so hard I can barely get the key in the ignition. I need to call someone. My mother, my sister, my lawyer, anyone. I try my mom first. Voicemail. My sister. Straight to voicemail. Then my phone buzzes. A group text from Melissa to our entire friend circle. I'm included on it. Emergency, Sarah just had a complete breakdown. making wild accusations about Jake and me. She's not in her right mind. Jake's worried about the kid's safety. Please pray for her. The responses flood in immediately. Oh my God, is she okay? I always worried she was working too hard. The kids must be so scared. I watch through my rearview mirror as Jake and Melissa come to the front door. His arm is around her protectively. They both look concerned, shaken. The perfect performance for any neighbors watching. That's when I understand. This isn't the beginning of their plan. I'm watching the end of something that started long ago. The game has been playing for months, and I never even knew I was a piece on the board. I've already lost, and I'm only just now realizing we were playing. 2 days later, I'm sitting in a leather chair across from Catherine Brooks, one of the city's top divorce attorneys. Her office overlooks the river, all glass and steel and expensive art. Her retainer is $350 an hour, but everyone says she's worth every penny. The recording helps establish motive, Catherine says, reviewing the audio on her laptop. But you're right about the consent laws. It won't be admissible as primary evidence in Oregon. However, what is admissible is mail fraud. She looks up at me. If Jake forged your signature on certified mail receipts, that's a federal felony. We can use that. So we can win this? My voice sounds small. Catherine's smile is confident. We're going to destroy him. I've handled cases like this before. Infidelity, fraud, parental manipulation. Judges don't look kindly on this behavior. For the first time in 48 hours, I feel something like hope. Catherine assigns a paralegal to start subpoenaing records. Signature verification from the Postal Service. Financial documents. School attendance records. Jake's phone records. Go home, she tells me. Spend time documenting everything you can remember. Every missed event, but also every event you did attend. Every business trip with receipts and conference schedules. We'll need it all. I go back to my house, which doesn't feel like home anymore, and Jake is gone. So are Emma and Tyler. There's a note on the kitchen counter in his handwriting. Took the kids to my mother's for a few days. They need stability right now. Don't contact them until you're thinking clearly. I crumple the note and throw it across the room. Then I spend 6 hours going through files, emails, calendars, building my defense. 3 days later, Catherine calls with an update. We've got him. Jake did forge your signature. Multiple times. On divorce papers, financial affidavits, even a document claiming you agreed to give him full custody. The postal inspector confirmed the signatures don't match. So what happens now? We file an emergency motion. I'm requesting an immediate hearing. Should be scheduled within 3 weeks. Stay strong, Sarah. We're going to get your kids back. I hang up and let myself cry for the first time since this started. Not from sadness, from relief, from the belief that truth might actually matter. That belief lasts exactly 17 days. The emergency hearing is scheduled for a Tuesday morning. I dress carefully, conservative suit, minimal makeup. I look like someone's idea of a good mother, even though I feel like I'm wearing a costume. Catherine meets me outside the courtroom. Remember, stay calm. Answer only what's asked. Don't let them provoke you. Jake arrives with his attorney, Margaret Johnson. She's got a reputation as a shark. Jake is wearing a suit I've never seen before, looking like a concerned father rather than the man who called his children props. Melissa isn't there. I'd expected her to show up, but maybe even Jake's lawyer knew that would look bad. The hearing starts simply enough. Catherine presents our evidence of forged signatures. The postal inspector testifies. It should be straightforward. Then Margaret Johnson stands up, and I watch my life collapse for the second time in 3 weeks. Your Honor, while Mrs. Mitchell attempts to paint herself as a victim, we have compelling evidence that she is the unfaithful spouse and an unfit mother. She presents her evidence methodically. Every hotel keycard from business trips with Marcus, made to look damning. Every expense report showing dinners together. Text messages about work projects, stripped of context and made to sound inappropriate. Then comes the affidavit from Marcus's ex-wife. She testifies via video call, calm and certain, describing how Marcus destroyed their marriage by having an affair with his secretary. She has reason to believe, she says, that Sarah Mitchell is his current target. 3 of my coworkers testify next. All the facts they share are true. Sarah and Marcus traveled together frequently. They were often seen together at hotels. Office rumors about them had existed for over a year. All true, all innocent, all twisted into something unrecognizable. When it's my turn to testify, I try to explain. Those were business trips. Marcus is my boss. We were attending the same conferences. Margaret Johnson doesn't raise her voice. Mrs. Mitchell, on the night of April 14th, where were you? I was in Dallas for a medical conference. Were you aware that was your son Tyler's 6th birthday party? The courtroom goes quiet. I feel everyone's eyes on me. Jake said he'd handle it, that we'd celebrate when I got back. You missed your son's birthday. For work. She pauses. What about May 2nd? I don't remember May 2nd. My face must show it. Emma's dance recital, her first solo. She asked the teacher if her mommy was there yet 17 times. Would you like to see the video? No, I whisper. Please, no. But the judge watches it anyway. Emma in her little pink ballet outfit, scanning the audience hopefully. Her face falling each time she doesn't find me. Other parents whispering, shooting sympathetic looks toward Jake, who sits alone in the front row, so obviously the devoted single parent holding everything together. When the video ends, I'm crying. Catherine squeezed my hand under the table, but it doesn't help. The judge takes less than 10 minutes to decide. While the court acknowledges that Mr. Mitchell's alleged fraud requires further investigation, the immediate concern is the children's welfare. Mrs. Mitchell's prolonged absences and the surrounding allegations raise serious questions about her judgment and priorities. Temporary custody goes to Jake. I get supervised visits twice a week, 2 hours each. Outside the courthouse, I see them. Jake is buckling Emma and Tyler into his truck. Melissa stands nearby, and when Emma reaches for her hand, Melissa takes it like it's the most natural thing in the world. Emma won't look at me. Tyler hides behind Melissa's leg when I try to approach. It's okay, sweeties, Melissa says, loud enough for me to hear. Mommy's just confused right now. She'll get better soon. I stand in the parking lot and watch my children drive away with the people who are stealing them from me. 3 weeks after the hearing, I receive an email from Human Resources at work. Dear Sarah, following serious allegations regarding inappropriate conduct with the supervisor, we are opening a formal investigation. Effective immediately, you are placed on unpaid administrative leave. Please return your building access card and laptop by end of business today. Unpaid. Not even the courtesy of paid leave while they investigate lies. I go to the office during lunch, hoping to avoid most people. It doesn't work. I see former colleagues duck into offices when they spot me. In the bathroom, I hear 2 women talking. I knew something was off. You don't get promoted that fast without, They go silent when I emerge from the stall. I wash my hands while they stand there, frozen. Then I leave without drying them. Marcus sends a brief text. Sarah, I've been advised by legal not to contact you. I'm sorry. That's it. 7 years of working together, and he can't even call. My mother visits my new studio apartment. I'd moved out of the house after Jake changed the locks. His name was on the deed, bought before we married. Legally, he can keep me out. Mom looks around the tiny space with barely concealed disappointment. Honey, I'm trying to understand. But Emma called me crying last night. She said you forgot about her school project presentation. Jake had to help her finish it at midnight. Mom, I wasn't allowed to help. I have supervised visitation. I can't just show up at the house. But before all this, Sarah, be honest with me. How many times did you miss things? She waits. I can't answer. Jake showed me a calendar. All the times you were traveling for work instead of being there for school events, sports games, parent-teacher conferences. He lied about so much. Why do you believe the calendar? Did you or did you not miss Tyler's birthday? The silence stretches between us. Mom sighs. Maybe this is a wake-up call. Maybe you need to reevaluate your priorities. After she leaves, my sister texts. Jake sent me photos. I don't want to believe it, but were you having an affair? Just tell me the truth. I don't respond. What's the point? They've already decided who to believe. The financial destruction happens faster than I expected. Jake drains our joint account. $43,000 gone overnight. It's legal during separation. He maxes out credit cards where he's an authorized user. My credit score drops like a stone. Catherine needs another $15,000 retainer to continue representation. I check my bank balance, $6,247. I can work with you, Catherine says over the phone, but I need something by next week or I'll have to withdraw. I take freelance consulting gigs, but they barely cover my $1,800 rent. At night, I lie awake doing math that never works out right. My supervised visits with Emma and Tyler are scheduled for Wednesday and Saturday afternoons at a neutral visitation center. A social worker named Diane monitors from a corner, writing notes. The first visit, Tyler won't hug me. He stands by the door, looking at his shoes. Daddy says you live in a tiny house now because you made bad choices. I kneel down to his level. Tyler, sweetheart, that's not true. I have a smaller place for now, but I'm still your mom. I love you so much. Emma crosses her arms. She's wearing a shirt I've never seen before. Aunt Melissa says people with sick minds can hurt kids without meaning to. She says you're sick in the head. The words hit like a physical blow. Emma, I'm not sick. I'm your mother. I love you more than anything. If you loved us, you'd be home, but you're never home. Baby, I want to be home. The judge said I couldn't yet, but I'm working on it. The judge said you were a bad mom. Diane, the social worker, intervenes. Emma, that's not what the judge said. But Emma just glares at me with an expression I don't recognize, an expression that looks disturbingly like Melissa's. The visit ends early. Tyler never speaks to me at all. Diane files her report that night. Catherine emails it to me the next day. Children exhibited extreme anxiety and fear responses around mother. Emma became verbally aggressive. Tyler showed avoidant attachment behavior. Recommend continued supervision and mandatory psychological evaluation for Sarah Mitchell before any custody modification can be considered. The psychological evaluation costs $3,000. I have to pay it myself. Results will take 6 weeks. I put it on a credit card I can't afford and try not to think about what happens if the psychologist decides I'm unfit too. 4 months into the nightmare, I've developed a routine. Wake up at 5 a.m., apply for jobs I'm overqualified for, do freelance work, eat ramen, go to supervised visits where my children treat me like a stranger, come home, cry, sleep, repeat. The permanent custody hearing is scheduled for a Monday morning in November. This is it, the final decision. Catherine has prepared everything. We have the forensic evidence of Jake's fraud. We have testimony from the postal inspector. We have documentation of his lies. I meet Catherine at her office at 7 a.m. so we can review everything one last time. She seems confident. I'm trying to feel the same. My phone rings at 7:45. Catherine's office number. Ms. Mitchell? It's not Catherine. It's her paralegal, Jennifer. I'm so sorry to inform you that Catherine Brooks is withdrawing from your case effective immediately. The floor drops out from under me. What? The hearing is in 90 minutes. A conflict of interest has emerged. She's legally required to withdraw. What conflict? This makes no sense. I can't disclose details. You'll receive a formal letter. I'm very sorry. The line goes dead. I try calling Catherine directly. Voicemail. I try her office. They won't put me through. I contact the Bar Association. File an emergency records request. Call in favors from a paralegal friend who owes me one. By 8:45, I have my answer. 6 weeks before I hired Catherine, Jake made a $50,000 donation to a charitable foundation. The foundation is run by Catherine's senior law partner, Martin Rothstein. Catherine knew about the connection. She never disclosed it. It's a legal ethics violation. Catherine will face consequences. But those consequences won't help me today when I have to walk into court in 30 minutes with no lawyer. I arrive at the courthouse at 9:20. The hearing starts at 9:30. I'm wearing the same conservative suit from last time, but now I'm alone at the defendant's table. The judge, a woman in her 60s named Judith Romano, looks surprised. Miss de Chavez. Mitchell, where's your attorney? I stand, my voice shakes. Your Honor, my attorney withdrew this morning due to a conflict of interest caused by the opposing party. Margaret Johnson stands. Your Honor, Miss Mitchell has a pattern of blaming others for her circumstances. Even her own lawyer couldn't continue defending her behavior. That's not true, I say. My lawyer was bribed. Objection, Margaret says smoothly, inflammatory and unsubstantiated. Sustained, Judge Romano says. Ms. Mitchell, do you have any motions? Yes, Your Honor. I have evidence that my husband forged my signature on legal documents. I hold up the folder. Objection, improper foundation. Ms. Mitchell isn't qualified to authenticate documents without expert testimony. Sustained. Ms. Mitchell, do you have an expert witness? No, but the postal inspector testified at the last hearing. That testimony was for the temporary order. This is the permanent hearing. Without proper foundation, the evidence cannot be admitted. I try to present my recording. Objection sustained, illegal recording. I try to call witnesses. They're all unavailable or refusing to testify, coached by Jake's lawyer. When I take the stand, I try to explain everything. The fraud, the conspiracy, the way Jake and Melissa have been poisoning my children against me. But without evidence, without a lawyer to guide the questioning, I just sound desperate, paranoid, exactly like someone who's mentally unstable. I break down on the stand, tears streaming down my face, voice cracking. Please, they're my children. He's lying about everything. The affair, my absences. He's manipulating them. Please, you have to believe me. Margaret Johnson's expression is almost pitying. Your Honor, this is exactly the kind of instability we've been documenting. Judge Romano takes less time to decide than before. After reviewing the evidence, testimony, and psychological evaluations, this court finds that full legal and physical custody should be granted to Jake Mitchell. The marital home is awarded to Jake Mitchell. Sarah Mitchell is ordered to pay child support in the amount of $3,200 per month. Visitation is set at every other weekend, supervised for a minimum of 1 year, with review. Additionally, Ms. Mitchell must complete parenting classes and continue therapy. The gavel comes down. It sounds like a gunshot. Jake stands, actually shaking the judge's hand. Thank you, Your Honor. I just want what's best for my kids. Outside the courthouse, reporters are waiting. Jake must have tipped them off. A human interest story about a devoted father protecting his children from an unstable mother. Melissa is there with Emma and Tyler. She's holding their hands. Emma looks at me with something worse than anger. It's contempt. Bye, Sarah, Emma says. Not Mom. Sarah. A reporter shoves a microphone toward Jake. Mr. Mitchell, how do you feel about the judge's decision? This was never about revenge. This was about protecting my children from an unstable situation. Sometimes love means making the hard choices. He ushers Emma and Tyler toward his truck. They go willingly. Tyler even reaches for Melissa's hand when she offers it. I stand frozen on the courthouse steps while reporters shout questions I don't answer. I watch my children, my entire world, drive away with the people who destroyed me. That night, I sit on the floor of my studio apartment. There's a bottle of wine, a bottle of sleeping pills. They're legitimately prescribed for the insomnia that's plagued me for months, but right now they look like something else, a way out. I open my laptop, draft an email to Emma and Tyler. My sweet babies, I'm sorry I wasn't the mother you needed. I'm sorry I let my career take me away from you. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you from what's happening. I'm sorry I'm not strong enough to keep fighting. Please know that every single day of your lives, you were my greatest joy. I love you both more than life itself. I'm so sorry I wasn't enough. My finger hovers over the pill bottle. I'm so tired, so broken. Maybe everyone would be better off if I just stopped fighting. My phone rings, unknown number. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. Miss Mitchell, Sarah Mitchell. The voice is male, urgent. Yes? This is Tony Greco. I'm Jake's business partner. I know you don't know me, but I need to talk to you about something that's been eating me alive. Can we meet tonight? I look at the pill bottle, at the email, at the phone. What is this about? What Jake's doing to you, it's not just divorce. It's criminal. And if I don't speak up now, I'm complicit in something way worse than fraud. Please, I have evidence. I have recordings. I can help you. The diner is one of those 24-hour places that looks exactly the same whether it's noon or midnight. Tony Greco sits across from me in a booth near the back. He's maybe 45, with the weathered hands of someone who works construction. He looks exhausted. I've worked with Jake for 12 years, he says without preamble. Built that company together from nothing. I thought I knew him. I wrap my hands around a coffee cup I haven't touched. Why are you here if Jake finds out you talk to me? He'll probably kill me. I'm not being dramatic. He's threatened it before. Tony slides a photo across the table. It shows Jake with two men in what looks like an underground card room. The lighting is dim, the atmosphere threatening. Recognize them? Tony asks. I shake my head. Vincent and Carlo Moretti, bookies. Not the friendly kind, the kind who break legs and burn houses down. My stomach turns. Jake gambles? Started about 18 months ago. Small bets at first, then bigger, then desperate. 10 months ago, he was into them for $400,000. They gave him a deadline, 6 months to pay or they'd hurt his family. Your family, Emma and Tyler. The coffee cup shakes in my hands. $400,000. That's when he came to me, drunk, terrified, said he needed money fast from you. Your retirement account, the house equity, anything he could liquidate, but you'd never just hand it over in a divorce. So he made me the villain. Exactly. Tony pulls out more papers. And Melissa, she's not what you think. He shows me a police report from Texas dated 2019. The name at the top is Melinda Grantham, but the photo is unmistakably Melissa. Identity theft, wire fraud, embezzlement. She's wanted in 3 states, uses different names. Melissa Grant is fake. I stare at the document, trying to process. How did she even pass a background check? Fake social security number. Fake references. She's a professional. She targets successful women, befriends them, destroys their lives, then steals their identity or assets. You're victim number 7 that we know of. But why Jake? Why this elaborate plan? Tony pulls out his phone, plays an audio recording. Jake's voice is clear. If Sarah doesn't drop the appeal, we'll have to accelerate the timeline. Stage a car accident. She drives home late from client meetings all the time. Or make it look like pills. She's already on antidepressants. Easy to rule it accidental or self-inflicted. Melissa's voice responds. And the life insurance? $500,000 policy. They might investigate, but with her mental health records and the custody battle, they'll conclude it was suicide or accidental. We wait 6 months, then cash in. I'm going to be sick. I push away from the table, make it to the bathroom just in time. When I come back, Tony is still sitting there, looking guilty. How long have you known? I ask. I suspected something was wrong for months, but I didn't have proof until last week. I've been wearing a wire. He shows me more. Text messages between Jake and Melissa. Financial records showing payments to the private investigator who stalked me. Payments to Catherine's law partner. Even payments to a courthouse clerk. Why are you helping me? Tony's eyes get distant. Last week I overheard Jake talking to someone. Said if you kept fighting, he might need to arrange an accident. Make it look natural. I have 2 daughters, Sarah, 13 and 15. The thought of someone doing this to their mother. He stops. I can't let that happen to someone else's mom. What do I do with this? I already called the police. Detective Raymond Garcia. He wants to meet with you tomorrow. But he needs your testimony, your financial records, everything Jake ever asked you to file or sign. Jake will know it was you. Tony's smile is bitter. I'm already a dead man if the Morettis find out I'm talking. Might as well die doing the right thing. We sit in that diner until 3 in the morning. Tony shows me everything. The scope of Jake's fraud, Melissa's real history, the conspiracy that's been unfolding for almost a year while I was completely unaware. When I finally go home, I don't look at the pill bottle. I look at the evidence spread across my tiny kitchen table. For the first time in months, I feel something other than despair. I feel rage, and rage, I'm learning, is so much more useful than grief. Detective Raymond Garcia is not what I expected. He's maybe 55 with gray hair and tired eyes that suggest he's seen everything. When Tony and I walk into his office the next morning, he's already reviewing files. Ms. Mitchell. He shakes my hand. I've been looking into Mr. Greco's allegations. I'll be honest, at first I thought this was just another ugly divorce. And now, he plays a recording, Jake's voice discussing my potential murder. When it ends, Garcia leans forward. That's conspiracy to commit murder. We're opening a full investigation. I'm also bringing in the FBI for the fraud components and identity theft. Over the next 3 weeks, I become part of the investigation. Garcia needs everything I have: financial records, emails, text messages, calendar entries, every document Jake ever asked me to file or store. I provide boxes of materials, things I'd kept because Jake insisted they were important for taxes or business records. I never looked at them closely. Now forensic accountants go through every page. They find evidence of Jake's gambling debts, wire transfers to the Morettis, payments to witnesses who lied in court. The paper trail is extensive. The FBI tracks down Melissa's real identity, Melinda Grace Grantham, wanted in Texas, Arizona, and Florida. 6 confirmed victims across 4 states. Her method is always the same: befriend successful women, isolate them, destroy their credibility, take their money, their identity, sometimes even their families, then disappear. I asked to see the files on her other victims. Garcia hesitates, then shows me. Victoria Adams, San Antonio, lost custody of her 3 children. Melinda cleaned out her accounts and vanished. Victoria died by suicide 2 years later. Rachel Martinez, Phoenix, lost her business, her home, her kids. Currently homeless. Jennifer Washington, Tampa, fighting for custody in family court, drowning in legal bills. The pattern is identical. These women all had careers, money, and families. Melinda targeted them methodically. How does she keep getting away with it, I ask. She's smart, Garcia says. Changes identities, moves across state lines, which complicates jurisdiction, uses cash, creates false paper trails. And she picks victims who are already vulnerable. Women with demanding careers who can be painted as absent mothers. Women like me. Women exactly like you. Garcia gets court approval for wiretaps on Jake's phone. Within a week, they record him discussing payment schedules with the Morettis, talking to Melissa about when to stage my accident, planning how to spend the life insurance money. They also catch something unexpected. Jake talking to someone about Tony. Greco's getting suspicious, asking too many questions about the finances. Might need to handle that problem too. Garcia immediately moves Tony and his daughters to a safe house. For 3 months, they live under protection while the investigation continues. I'm asked to wear a wire during my next supervised visit with Emma and Tyler. Garcia assures me it's legal with court approval. The goal is to catch Melissa coaching the kids. The visit is at Jake's house this time, a modification approved by the court. Diane, the social worker, is there. So is Melissa. I hug Emma and Tyler. Emma tolerates it. Tyler pulls away quickly. Why don't you kids go play upstairs for a few minutes, Melissa says sweetly. I'll call you when snack is ready. Once they're gone, Melissa turns to me. You know, Sarah, if you really loved them, you'd stop fighting. You're just making this harder on everyone. I'm their mother. Biology isn't everything. They need stability, a mother who's actually present. I force myself to stay calm, remembering the wire. Like you? I've been more of a mother to them in the past 6 months than you've been in years. Upstairs, I hear Emma and Tyler playing. Normal kid sounds. They're laughing. The sound breaks my heart and strengthens my resolve at the same time. When I leave an hour later, Garcia tells me they got everything they needed. Melissa coaching the kids. Jake discussing the insurance policy. Even a call from the Morettis demanding payment. We're moving in 3 days, Garcia says. Arrest warrants are being prepared for Jake Mitchell and Melinda Grantham. Charges include conspiracy to commit murder, wire fraud, witness tampering, bribery, identity theft, and parental alienation. What about my kids? Child services will be on site. We'll make it as gentle as possible, but they need to be removed from that house immediately. I spend the next 3 days terrified and hopeful in equal measure. This could save us, or it could make everything worse. The emergency custody hearing happens on a Friday morning. My new attorney is David Miller from the Victims' Rights Legal Foundation. He took my case pro bono after seeing the evidence. The courtroom is more crowded than before. Garcia is here. FBI agents. Representatives from Child Services. Jake and his lawyer look confused by the presence of law enforcement. Judge Romano presides again. She looks stern. Mr. Park, you requested this emergency hearing. Please explain. David stands. Your Honor, we're requesting immediate custody reversal and arrest of the respondents based on new evidence of criminal conspiracy. Margaret Johnson stands. Your Honor, this is highly irregular. It's about to get more irregular, David says. We have evidence that the children are currently living with a wanted felon and a man under investigation for conspiracy to commit murder. The courtroom erupts. Judge Romano bangs her gavel. Order. Mr. Park, those are serious allegations, which is why we have law enforcement here to testify. FBI Special Agent Karen Foster takes the stand first. She's calm, professional, devastating. Melinda Grantham, posing as Melissa Grant, is wanted on federal warrants for identity theft and wire fraud across multiple states. She has defrauded 6 victims of over $2 million collectively. Her method involves befriending successful women, destroying their credibility, then assuming aspects of their identity or stealing their assets. Next is Detective Garcia. He plays the recordings. Jake's voice fills the courtroom, discussing my murder like he's planning a business deal. Melissa's voice responding. The cold calculation in their words. Jake jumps to his feet. This is a setup. Tony's lying because I fired him. Mr. Mitchell, sit down, Judge Romano says sharply. But Jake keeps shouting. Those recordings are fake. This is all. The courtroom doors open. Federal marshals enter with local police. Jake Mitchell, the lead marshal says, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder, wire fraud, witness tampering, bribery, and parental alienation. Jake struggles as they put him in handcuffs. You can't do this. Those kids need me. Melissa bolts from her seat, tries to run for the side exit. She makes it 3 steps before a plainclothes officer tackles her. Melinda Grantham, you're under arrest on federal warrants for identity theft, wire fraud, conspiracy to commit murder, and perjury. Melissa is sobbing now, the mask completely gone. I didn't do anything. Jake made me. It was all him. Jake's face twists with fury. As they drag him past my table, he locks eyes with me. His final words are venomous. You'll never get them back. I poisoned them against you for months. Emma thinks you're a monster. Tyler flinches when you touch him. Even if you win, Sarah, you've already lost them. I don't respond. I just watch as they take him away. After order is restored, Judge Romano speaks. Her voice is shaking slightly. This court has been deceived by fraudulent evidence and witness tampering. I am granting emergency full custody to Sarah Mitchell, effective immediately. Mr. Mitchell's custody is terminated. The children will be placed with Ms. Mitchell today, with court-mandated family therapy. She looks directly at me. Ms. Mitchell, I owe you an apology. This court failed you. I am ordering a full investigation into how this occurred under my supervision. I can barely speak, can only nod. Emma and Tyler are brought in by a child services worker. They look confused and scared. Emma's been crying. Mommy, Tyler says, and it's the first time he's called me that in months. I drop to my knees and open my arms. Tyler runs to me. Emma hesitates, then follows. I hold them both while they cry, while I cry, while the courtroom watches this broken family try to figure out how to heal. 6 months after the arrests, I'm standing in the kitchen of our new house, watching Emma struggle with her math homework at the table. The house is smaller than our old one, just 3 bedrooms in a quiet neighborhood 40 minutes from downtown. The mortgage is manageable on my consulting income. The backyard has an old oak tree perfect for climbing. It's not the life I planned, but it's ours. Truly, honestly, ours. Tyler sits on the living room floor, building an elaborate city with blocks. Every few minutes, he looks up to check that I'm still in the kitchen. Dr. Shah says this hypervigilance will fade with time. Right now, he needs the constant reassurance that I'm not disappearing again. The legal aftermath dragged on for months. Jake pleaded guilty to avoid a trial that would have destroyed what little reputation he had left. Conspiracy to commit murder, wire fraud, witness tampering, parental alienation. The judge gave him 12 years in federal prison. He'll be 60 when he gets out. Melissa, whose real name is Melinda Grace Grantham, received 8 years. At her sentencing, she cried and apologized, claiming Jake manipulated her too. Nobody believed it. The FBI had documented 6 other victims across 4 states, women whose lives she'd systematically destroyed. One of them, Victoria Adams from San Antonio, died by suicide after losing custody of her children. Melinda's apology rang hollow. The judge who presided over my original custody hearing, Judith Romano, faced an ethics investigation. She wasn't directly bribed, but her failure to recognize the red flags, her willingness to accept Jake's narrative without scrutiny, it all came under review. She resigned before the investigation concluded. Catherine Brooks, my first attorney, was disbarred. The law firm that employed her paid a $2 million settlement to avoid further liability. The money helps. It rebuilt our savings, paid off the debt Jake created, set up college funds for Emma and Tyler. But money can't buy back the year we lost. Can't erase Emma's nightmares or Tyler's separation anxiety. Therapy helps more than money ever could. We started at 3 sessions per week. Now we're down to 2. Dr. Priya Shah specializes in parental alienation recovery. She's in her 50s with kind eyes and an office full of art supplies and comfortable chairs. The children need to understand that what happened wasn't their fault, Dr. Shah told me in our first session. They were victims too. Jake and Melissa weaponized Emma and Tyler's natural trust. That's a profound betrayal. In our sessions, Dr. Shah helps Emma and Tyler process their confusion. They loved Jake. He was their father, the man who made pancakes on Sunday mornings and taught Tyler to ride a bike. How do they reconcile that father with the man who plotted to murder their mother? It's okay to miss the father you thought you had, Dr. Shah tells Emma during one session. It's okay to be angry at the father who lied to you. Both feelings can be true at the same time. Emma cries a lot in therapy. So does Tyler. So do I. We're learning that crying isn't weakness. It's how we drain the poison Jake and Melissa infected us with. At home, we're building new routines. I wake up at 6:30 instead of 5. Make breakfast instead of grabbing a protein bar on my way out the door. Walk Emma and Tyler to the bus stop 3 blocks away. Tyler holds my hand the entire way. Emma walks slightly ahead, asserting her independence, but she looks back every few steps to make sure I'm still there. I've restructured my entire career. No more traveling, no more 60-hour weeks. I consult for pharmaceutical companies remotely, helping them develop sales strategies. The pay is half what I made before, but I'm home when Emma and Tyler get off the bus at 3:15. We do homework together at the kitchen table. I'm relearning 4th grade math alongside Emma, discovering that multiplication has apparently changed since I was her age. Tyler practices reading with me, sounding out words carefully, his finger tracing each line. After homework, we play. Actual play. Board games. Card games. Building forts out of couch cushions. Things I used to consider optional, luxuries for when I had time. Now I understand they're essential. This is where we rebuild trust, where Emma and Tyler remember what it feels like to have a mother who's present, not just physically in the room, but emotionally available. Dinner time is sacred. We eat together every night. No phones, no television, just us talking about our days. At first, the conversations were stilted. Emma and Tyler didn't trust that this version of me would last. They were waiting for me to revert to the mother who was always distracted, always checking email, always prioritizing work. Give them time, Dr. Shah advised. Consistency is what rebuilds trust. Show up every day. Eventually, they'll believe you're really there. She was right. After 3 months, Emma started volunteering information about her day without me asking. Tyler began telling elaborate stories about things that happened at school. Small moments, but they felt like victories. Bedtime takes longer now. Both kids still prefer to sleep in the same room despite having their own spaces. Tyler's in the bottom bunk, Emma on top. I read to them every night. Chapter books that take weeks to finish. We're currently working through the Harry Potter series. Emma's favorite is Hermione. Tyler loves Ron. Because Ron's funny, Tyler explains, and he's loyal to his friends even when he's scared. After reading, I tuck them in. Emma always has one more question. Mom, she says tonight, her voice small in the darkness. Yeah, baby. Did you really miss my birthday on purpose? And my recital? We've had this conversation before. Many times, but Emma needs to hear it again. Healing isn't linear. Some days she believes me. Other days, Jake's words echo louder than mine. I sit on the edge of her bunk. I miss them, and I will regret that for the rest of my life. But not on purpose. Never on purpose. I was working because I thought that was how I showed love. Providing for you meant I was being a good mother. I was wrong. I should have been there. Daddy said you didn't love us enough to stay. The words still hurt, even though I know they're lies. Daddy lied about a lot of things. He was a good liar. He even fooled me for years. But here's the truth, Em. You and Tyler are the most important people in my entire world. More important than any promotion, any amount of money. I'm sorry it took almost losing you to understand that. Emma is quiet for a long moment. Melissa said you were sick in the head, that people like you hurt kids without meaning to. I choose my words carefully. I'm not sick. I was hot and scared and fighting to get back to you. But I'm not sick, and I will never ever hurt you. That's a promise I can keep. Okay. She rolls over, facing the wall. Love you, Mom. Love you too, Em, more than anything. Downstairs, I pour a glass of wine and sit on the back porch. The November air is cold, but I need the bite of it. Need the reminder that I'm here, alive, that we survived. My phone buzzes, a text from Tony Greco. Still good for dinner tomorrow. The girls are excited to see Emma and Tyler. I smile and text back. Absolutely. 6 o'clock? Perfect. I'll bring the casserole. You handle dessert? Deal. Tony and his daughters, Maria, who's 13, and Sophie, who's 15, have become part of our healing. Tony lost his partnership in Jake's construction company when everything came out, but he started his own business. It's smaller, but honest, built on truth instead of fraud. His girls were traumatized too. 3 months in a safe house while the FBI investigated threats from Jake's associates. They had to change schools, leave their friends, live under assumed names, all because their father chose to do the right thing. Sometimes I watch Tony with his daughters and see the same exhaustion I feel. The weight of protecting children from dangers they shouldn't have to understand. We don't talk about it directly. We don't need to. We just show up for each other, making dinners, arranging play dates, building a chosen family from the wreckage of our old lives. Inside, I hear Tyler call out, "Not a nightmare this time, just needing water." I go upstairs, fill his cup from the bathroom to sink, sit with him while he drinks. "Mom," he whispers, "are you going to leave again?" "No, baby, I'm staying right here." "Promise?" "Promise." He hands me the empty cup and burrows back under his covers. Within minutes, he's asleep again. I stand in their doorway, watching both my children sleep. Emma's arm dangles from the top bunk. Tyler is tangled in his blankets, mouth slightly open. They're healing. Slowly, imperfectly, but healing. So am I. Tomorrow, Emma has a spelling test she's nervous about. Tyler has show and tell. I have a client meeting via video call, but I'll be done by 2. We'll make cookies after school. Emma wants to try a new recipe she found online. Normal things. Beautiful, ordinary, normal things. The kind I used to take for granted while I chased promotions and performance bonuses. Never again. I walk back downstairs and open my laptop. I've been writing our story down. Dr. Shah suggested it might help with processing the trauma, but it's become something more. A testimony, a warning. Evidence that parental alienation is real, devastating, and more common than people think. I write until midnight, documenting the small victories and ongoing struggles. Then I close the laptop and go to bed. For the first time in over a year, I fall asleep without checking the locks 3 times, without jolting awake convinced someone is coming to take my children. I sleep deeply, dreamlessly, peacefully, because I know with absolute certainty that when I wake up tomorrow morning, Emma and Tyler will be down the hall, safe, loved, home. 1 year after the arrest, spring has arrived with an explosion of cherry blossoms and the promise of new beginnings. I'm sitting front row center at the community theater where Emma's dance recital is being held. The same recital, the same solo that I missed last year when I was in Dallas, closing a deal that seemed so important at the time. Tyler sits next to me, dressed in the button-down shirt he insisted on wearing because it's fancy like Emma's costume. His legs swing back and forth, not quite reaching the floor. Every few seconds, he leans against me, needing the physical contact. Tony and his daughters sit 3 seats over. Maria and Sophie have become like older sisters to Emma and Tyler. They text constantly, have inside jokes I don't understand, do TikTok dances in our living room that make me feel ancient. The theater lights dim, the audience settles. My heart pounds with an anticipation that has nothing to do with nerves and everything to do with being present. Being here, finally being the mother who shows up. The first few performances are group numbers, little kids in matching costumes, some following the choreography, others waving enthusiastically at their parents. The audience laughs warmly. I record short videos on my phone, capturing the joy. Then Emma's solo is announced. Emma Mitchell will now perform a contemporary piece titled Rising. The stage lights shift to a soft blue. Emma walks out in her costume, a flowing dress that's part ballet, part modern dance. Her hair is pulled back in a tight bun. Her face is serious, focused, transformed from my giggly daughter into a young artist. She finds me in the audience immediately. Our eyes meet. She gives the tiniest smile, barely visible, then settles into her starting position. The music begins. It's haunting, melodic, building slowly. Emma starts to move. She's grown so much taller this year. Her movements are more confident, more controlled. She flows across the stage like water, telling a story with her body about struggle and perseverance, and ultimately, triumph. There's a moment, about halfway through, where she stumbles slightly on a turn. I see the flash of panic in her eyes, but she catches herself, incorporates the stumble into the next movement, keeps going. The determination on her face, the refusal to give up, it reminds me so much of everything we've been through. We stumbled, we nearly fell, but we caught ourselves and kept dancing. Tyler leans close and whispers, loud enough for the people behind us to hear, "She's really good, huh, Mom?" "The best," I whisper back, throat tight with emotion. Emma's final sequence is a series of leaps and turns that leave her breathless, arms extended upward as the music swells and then stops. She holds the final pose for 3 beats, breathing hard, and then the stage goes dark. The audience erupts. I'm on my feet before the lights even come back up, applauding so hard my palms sting. Tyler jumps up beside me, shouting, "That's my sister!" Tony and his daughters are standing too, whistling and cheering. Soon the entire audience is on their feet. Emma takes her bow and I see tears on her cheeks. Happy tears, proud tears. The rest of the recital passes in a blur. I'm counting down the minutes until we can go backstage and I can hold my daughter and tell her everything I'm feeling. Finally, the show ends. We navigate through the crowded lobby to the backstage area. Emma is still in her costume, surrounded by other dancers and their parents. When she sees me, she breaks away and runs over. Did you see? Did you see my jump?" I kneel down so we're eye level. "I saw everything. You were absolutely perfect. I messed up the turn in the middle. You recovered beautifully. That's what made it perfect. The way you didn't give up, the way you kept going. I'm so incredibly proud of you." Emma throws her arms around my neck. "Thanks for being here, Mom." My voice catches. I have to clear my throat twice before I can respond. "I'll always be here. Front row, every single time. That's a promise." Tyler tugs on my sleeve, trying to get attention. "Can we get ice cream now? You said if Emma did good, we could get ice cream." "Did well," I correct automatically, then laugh. "And yes, absolutely. Emma, go change. We're celebrating." 20 minutes later, we're all piled into 2 cars heading to the ice cream shop downtown. It's the kind with homemade flavors and portions so large they're ridiculous. Emma orders mint chocolate chip in a waffle cone. Tyler gets cookies and cream in a cup because he always spills cones. I get vanilla bean, simple and perfect. Tony's daughters get elaborate sundaes with multiple flavors and every topping available. Tony and I share an amused look as the teenager behind the counter struggles to balance everything. We sit outside at the metal tables even though the evening air is chilly. Nobody wants to go home yet. This moment feels too good to rush through. Tyler immediately gets chocolate all over his face. Emma tries to eat her cone delicately but ends up with mint chocolate chip on her nose. Maria tells a joke about a dancing chicken that doesn't quite make sense, but everyone laughs anyway because her delivery is so enthusiastic. Sophie shows Emma a new dance move she learned from a YouTube tutorial. Emma tries to copy it while holding her ice cream cone, nearly drops it, catches it at the last second. Tyler attempts the move too and actually does drop his ice cream cup. I catch it before it hits the ground. Nice reflexes, Mom, Tyler says, impressed. Years of practice catching things you drop, I say, ruffling his hair. Tony catches my eye across the table. There's something in his expression I can't quite read. Warmth, affection, whatever it is, it makes my chest feel tight in a good way. We've been dancing around something for months now, Tony and I. Nothing overt, nothing inappropriate. Just a recognition that we've been through something terrible together and come out the other side stronger. That we understand each other in ways most people couldn't. Dershaw asked me about it last week. Are you developing feelings for Tony? I deflected. He's a friend, that's all. Sarah, it's okay to move forward, to find happiness again. You're not betraying your children by considering a relationship. I know, I need to focus on Emma and Tyler right now. You can do both. Healing doesn't mean you have to be alone. I'm not ready yet, maybe someday. But right now, Tony's friendship is enough, more than enough. The kids finish their ice cream and we start the drive home. Emma falls asleep in the back seat, exhausted from performing. Tyler fights sleep for a while, telling me elaborate stories about his day before his words slow and stop. At home, I carry Tyler inside while Emma stumbles groggily behind me. I tuck Tyler into the bottom bunk, still fully dressed except for his shoes. Emma changes into pajamas and climbs up to the top bunk. Mom, she says as I'm turning off the light. Yeah, baby? Do you think we'll always be okay now, like really okay? I pause, considering how to answer. I could lie, tell her everything will be perfect from now on, that we'll never struggle again. But we don't do lies anymore in this house. We do truth, even when it's complicated. I think we'll have good days and hard days, I say carefully. Days when everything feels easy and days when it feels really hard. But we'll face them together, and that makes all the difference. Even when I have nightmares, even when I get scared you're going to leave, especially then, I'll be right down the hall. Always. Emma extends her pinky down from the top bunk. I reach up and link mine with hers. This ritual we've developed, this physical promise we make to each other. Love you, Mom. Love you too, Em, more than the whole universe. I stand in their doorway for a long moment, watching them sleep. Tyler is already snoring softly, one arm flung over his head. Emma shifts and settles, her breathing evening out. My babies, my fighters, my reason for everything. In my own room, I open my laptop. I've been writing our story for months now, documenting everything from that terrible afternoon when I came home to get my keys to this evening's recital. It's nearly finished. I add tonight's details, Emma's performance, the ice cream celebration, the ordinary magic of being present for my children's lives. Then I write the conclusion. They tried to erase me. Tried to make me believe I was the villain in my own story. Tried to convince my children I was a monster who chose work over family. For a while, wished in the nightmare of legal battles and supervised visits, I believed them. But the truth doesn't stay buried forever. It fights its way to the surface no matter how deep you try to bury it. Sometimes it needs help. A person like Tony who's willing to risk everything. A detective who takes allegations seriously. An attorney who fights pro bono because they believe in justice. I didn't just survive. I reclaimed my life, my children, my peace. I rebuilt our family on a foundation of truth instead of lies. The scars are still there. Emma still has nightmares about Melissa telling her I was dangerous. Tyler still panics if I'm 5 minutes late picking him up from school. I still wake up sometimes certain that someone's coming to take them away again. But we're healing. Together. One day, one moment, one memory at a time. To anyone reading this who's fighting an impossible battle, drowning in lies, watching someone poison your children against you, don't give up. Document everything. Trust your instincts. Find your allies. Believe in truth even when everyone around you believes lies. Because love, real, unconditional, fierce, protective love, will always outlast lies. And the truth, no matter how long it takes, will set you free. I saved the document, closed the laptop, walked down the hall to check on Emma and Tyler one more time. This compulsion I can't shake. This need to confirm they're really there. They're both sleeping peacefully now. Emma's arm dangles down from the top bunk, fingers relaxed. Tyler has kicked off his blankets and is sprawled diagonally across his mattress. I adjust Tyler's covers gently so he doesn't get cold. I touch Emma's dangling hand softly, just a brush of my fingers against hers. Whisper into the darkness of their room. I'm here. I'll always be here. Nothing will take you from me again. And for the first time in longer than I can remember, I believe it completely, without reservation, without the shadow of fear. The nightmare is over. We survived. And now we're doing more than surviving. We're living. I walk back to my room, leaving both their doors open so I can hear if they need me in the night. Tomorrow, Emma has school. Tyler has library day, which he loves. I have 2 client calls, both scheduled during school hours so I can be free in the afternoon. We're making homemade pizza for dinner, a new Friday tradition. Normal things, beautiful, ordinary, precious normal things. The kind of things I used to rush through, checking my phone, thinking about work, always half present. Never again. I climb into bed and set my alarm for 6:30, not 5 a.m. I don't need those extra hours anymore. I need the rest, need to be present and patient when Emma and Tyler wake up. As I'm drifting off, I think about Jake in his federal prison cell, about Melissa, whose real name is Melinda, in hers. I don't feel satisfaction exactly, just a quiet certainty that justice was served. They tried to destroy me, they almost succeeded, but almost isn't the same as actually. I'm here, my children are safe. We're building a life together based on presence and truth. That's my victory. Not revenge, not even justice, really. Just this, Emma's hand in mine, Tyler's sleepy smile in the morning. The ordinary magic of being someone's mother, fully and completely. I close my eyes and fall into sleep, deep and dreamless and peaceful. When I wake up tomorrow, my children will be down the hall, safe, loved, home, and nothing, absolutely nothing, will ever take them from me again. That's not hope. That's not a wish. That's a promise I've already kept.